Alright, so guys, it's Ethan Wright, aka Mr. Campbell, and today I'm actually gonna be reacting to a video. Scariest TikToks. Yeah, I don't do this type of stuff. Okay. Alright, let's just hop right into the video, and if you like this type of content, then please let me know. I'll probably keep it up. Let's get this going.
Anyone who may be triggered by these topics, or anyone who's faint of heart, please keep scrolling. Serial killers from every U.S. state, Part 3. Arizona. Mark Gradillo, aka the Baseline Killer. Mark Gradillo became known as the Baseline Killer when he terrorized the Phoenix, Arizona community in the summer of 2006. He would attack women during their daily lives. One woman was simply vacuuming her car when he brutally assaulted and murdered her. Another woman met a similar fate when she was just waiting at a bus stop. They were all found in pools of their blood, with their pants pulled halfway down. In total, Gradillo was found guilty of killing 9 people, most of them women. In 2016, his 9 death sentences were upheld in Phoenix. At the time of this recording, he is still alive and in prison.
This is one of the scariest ghost stories I've heard, so now everyone's got to hear it. Back in 2003, there was this group of deployed American Marines who got moved into abandoned military housing that was dubbed Ghost Town. It got the name because apparently the first group of Marines that lived there only made it a week before they couldn't live there anymore. They said they couldn't sleep the entire time they were there. Like all night they would hear the sounds of children laughing, of like footsteps upstairs when there was no one there.
Oh.
I talk about it this week on the podcast, but one night the new group that had moved in had to go out and patrol the area. So they're walking through the neighborhood, like past a bunch of abandoned houses, and then all of a sudden, one of the Marines just starts screaming. He throws his weapon down and just takes off running, like through enemy territory with no weapon. So half of the Marines chase after him, and then the other half turn around to see what he was screaming at.
Oh, no.
They said that behind them, there was
hell
this
no.
creature that looked like a shadow come to life. It was really tall and skinny, but they said it had these bright, glowing red eyes. But before they knew what to do, it just vanished. The craziest part is that multiple other people have reported seeing this exact creature like in the area. If you want to hear more of these stories, you've got to check out the podcast this week.
The aliens are already watching us.
Knew
On
it.
September 12, 1991, NASA launched Space Shuttle mission number 48. It was supposed to be a simple mission to deploy an upper atmosphere research satellite. However, 3 days into the mission, as they were drifting over Alice Springs, Australia, the camera of the shuttle caught a UFO moving slowly through the atmosphere. When a bright light got shot out of the Earth's surface, it comes to a stop and makes a 45-degree turn instantaneously and shoots in the opposite direction. Coincidentally, there is a covert CIA base in Alice Springs in Australia, right below where this footage was taken, leading some to believe that.
Want to see something freaky? We'll take a look at some old footage. This is from the Theodore Grills Assisted Living Community and it's security footage from back in the 80s. This camera would just kind of generally face this hallway, but one night it caught something very eerie in this particular frame. Before we get into it, I have got to say thank you to you for making my podcast, Creep Time the Podcast, number 18 in the whole country. I'm very grateful. So if you have not listened to Creep Time the Podcast, go click the link in my bio. If you look to the background of this footage, on the right there appears to be an elderly woman just standing there. What really kind of freaked everybody out is that everybody recognized this woman. The staff could tell that this was Blanche Raymond. The problem is, Blanche Raymond died 2 years earlier in 1984. Still, the consensus from the staff is that the footage clearly shows who they recognize to be this woman. Just feasibly no explanation for it. How do we explain this footage?
What actually happened on the moon? In 2009, a photo was found on NASA's website where a photo of the moon crater was seen in the background. When enhanced, you can see that there are structures that look like a base of operations on it. Furthermore, Neil Armstrong has come forth and said that there were other things on the moon during the moon landing, as quoted by him. These babies are huge, sir. Enormous. Oh God, you wouldn't believe it. They are on the moon watching us. So, who else is on the moon? And
Scary things found deep in the woods. This footage recorded on the 1st of August 2020 shows a dirt bike rider riding in the woods when all of a sudden this happens. The dirt bike rider almost rides straight into a deadly trap that was set up on the trail. This is called a trail trap and they are set up to try and kill dirt bikers. It's unknown who put the trap there and why they did it, but thankfully the rider stopped just in time. Follow for more.
Creepy Cryptids from Around the World, Part 11.
Ugh.
Teke Teke. The
I
Teke
look away for a
Teke is a
second and I see that.
malevolent Japanese ghost or demon that has entered the domain of both urban legend and horror franchise in its own right, similar to the more infamous Kuchisake Onna. Her name comes from the sound she makes when she pursues her victims, running across the ground, using her hands or elbows, as her entire lower section has been torn off, leaving nothing but her upper torso and arms, by which the demon hunts down her prey. Teke Teke belongs to a very large subtype of Japanese demons known as the vengeful ghosts, usually women. These demons were once human, but became monsters after death, and now exist only to kill and torment the living. Teke Teke was originally a human, called Kaizo, who was bullied and or sexually assaulted, which caused her to jump off a train station onto the tracks. Kaizo was then cut in half by the incoming train. She barely survived due to the cold weather. She crawled to a person for help, but upon seeing her disfigurement, that person left her there to die. Her vengeful spirit now stalks the streets of Japan. One particular story goes as follows. As a young schoolboy was walking home one night, he spotted a beautiful young girl standing by a windowsill, resting her elbows. They smiled at each other for a moment. The boy wondered what a girl was doing in an all-boys school, but before he could wonder more about the girl, she jumped out of the window and revealed that her lower half was missing. Frightened, he stood in the sidewalk, but before he could run, she caught up to his location and using a scythe, cut the boy in half. If someone sees or is spotted by Teke Teke near them at night, she will pursue them, armed with her trusty scythe, or in some iterations, a saw, and if that person is not fast enough, she'll slice them in half too, causing them to mimic her own demise. Teke Teke is one of the dozens of creatures featured in my new board game,
Next,
Encounters,
please, come on.
the Cryptid Hunting Game. To learn more about the game and pre-order your copy, check out the Kickstarter link in my bio.
Did this man get stuck in the past? In 1995, Mike Markham set out to create a time machine. His idea was to use compact lasers to reduce the air pressure going in either pole direction. Mike was a recluse and worked tirelessly on his invention. On one occasion, he even caused a citywide blackout. However, it might have benefited him as he garnered some attention and received anonymous donations to help fund his invention. When asked about what he would bring if he could time travel, he simply replied, "My cell phone." However, in 1997, Mike and his work mysteriously disappeared without a trace. Soon afterwards, a news story was uncovered from the 1930s, claiming that an unrecognizable man was found crushed in a metal tube on a California beach, and the only thing found with the body was a cell phone from the 1990s. So,
This is how much of different foods you need to eat to kill you, part 2.
Up first is water. If you drink 14 water bottles in just one sitting, you will die. It's because your kidneys
Says that shit. Sorry, just thirsty.
cannot process it. But don't worry, this would never happen because nobody's ever this thirsty. Next up are cherries. Now you can eat as many cherries as you want, but you can only eat 3 cherry seeds before you die. This is because they contain cyanide, which is extremely poisonous to humans. So whatever you do, never eat 3 cherry seeds. Finally is toothpaste. You would have to eat 24 bottles of toothpaste to die. Now it's a no-brainer that you should never try this, but it's still interesting to know, and the more you know, the better.
Why would you eat toothpaste?
Hey, look, a pizza. You gotta let him into your house now.
We're gonna let that man in. Hold on, Yo, what's up, man? Oh!
Moments caught on camera PT.14.
Okay, that's kind of terrifying. That is pretty terrifying. And this is why you take the stairs. Okay, the music just makes it a whole lot worse. I'm not even gonna lie. Oh, he survived? Oh, yeah, okay. That makes more sense. Okay.
First are Smarties. This is a
These are candies that were banned in the United States, Part 2.
Up first are Smarties. This is a candy that you either love or hate, but in 2014, elementary school students and middle school students started crushing up Smarties and snorting them. This then resulted in them being banned in many schools around the country. Smarties are so good, and I wonder why kids had to do this. Next up is the Lazy Larry, also known as Lazy Cakes. These cakes contain a small amount of melatonin, which is a hormone that affects the body's sleep-wake cycle, and it makes one feel way more drowsy than normal. Though the melatonin in these cakes isn't that effective towards adults, it can actually make a kid fall right asleep if they ate it. It's hard to say to the Lazy Larry bars, but the FDA threatened to seize the product, and it just completely disappeared.
Okay, that's the scariest thing I've seen in this video. Alright, only one segment of the video actually did scare the ever-living out of me. It was that ticket one. Yeah, I'm terrified of that. Look, stay safe on the streets of Japan at night, or just don't go there at all, alright? Thanks for watching the video. Please like and subscribe. Comment if you want to. If you want me to do this again, please tell me. I'll probably put up some polls if this actually gets a lot of recognition. I'll either do a scary TikTok video or a funny one. I don't care. I'll react to anything. I'm still trying to post more videos like skits and all that. Maybe vlogs if you want me to vlog. I'll do anything. Alright. I guess I'll see you guys. Peace.